Okay guys, so today we are beginning the planning phase of our color wheels. And so for this color wheel project, you can do your color wheel any way that you want. I do not care how you choose to represent your color wheel, as long as your color wheel includes all of the three primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. You have your secondary colors, which are green, purple, and orange, and your intermediate colors, and those are the colors that have two names. Intermediate colors are made by mixing one primary and one secondary. So if you were to mix, let's say red is your primary and orange is your secondary, you're going to get an intermediate color called red-orange. Intermediate colors are easy to identify because they always have two names: red-orange, blue-green, purple, blue-violet. These are all yellow-green. These are all intermediate colors. So how you choose to represent those colors is going to be up to you. I would choose something that you like. So for instance, I like to paint. Shocking, I know. But so I'm going to make a paintbrush for each of my 12 colors. So we have our 3 primaries, 3 secondaries, and then there are 6 intermediates, so that means you have 12 colors to represent. So I would need 12 paintbrushes. Now, I could try to draw 12 different paintbrushes and make them look the same. That would be very time consuming and that would be very frustrating. So what I would suggest for you to do is I would make a stencil for your object, whatever it is that you're going to use. So if I'm going to do a paintbrush, I'm going to draw one paintbrush. Kind of like this. Okay, so here is my one paintbrush. Instead of trying to draw this 11 more times and make them look the same, I am going to take this one paintbrush, I'm going to cut it out and make myself a stencil. Here. Okay, I don't like that. Let me go back to that a little bit better. There we go. Okay, now I have one paintbrush, and I can use this to trace to make my color wheel. So let's say that I'm going to make my color wheel on a square piece of paper, which of course I didn't think to cut one, so let me go cut myself a square piece of paper. Okay, so here's my square piece of paper, and here is my paintbrush stencil. So what I would do is I'm going to put my stencil to the side, and I'm going to figure out where the center of my paper is. So to do that, I'm going to fold my paper just lightly, right here in the middle. Actually, a little way down. So I have a fold down the middle that way, and I'm going to fold it this way. And that's going to give me a center. You can kind of see where the folds meet, and that is where the center is. So now I could start tracing my 12 paintbrushes. I'm going to trim my paintbrush just a little bit to make it fit in the center. Okay, so I could start tracing my paintbrushes, and instead of having to draw this paintbrush free-handed 12 different times, I've made it easier for myself. All I have to do is trace my stencil 12 times, which still seems like a lot, but imagine if you were trying to make each one match. So that would be, I'm just going to label So if I'm going to start with my primary colors, I'm just going to put a Y inside there really lightly. I know that would be yellow. So then my next one would spin out a little bit. I can trace it. This one's going to be an intermediate. And that one's going to be the yellow-green. So then the next one, we know what color that's going to be. It's going to be green, so I would trace this one all the way around until you get all 12 of your objects. So that is a strong suggestion that I would make. Of course, you do not have to do it that way. That is just one way that you could do it. So please, today you're going to be working on your plan. You're going to be making a stencil if that's the route you choose to go. And we're going to do a sketch of what your finished project will look like. Today is our planning phase, and we will get an idea of how to do it. Once you have it figured out, if you have questions, I am happy to help you problem solve to get it done.